welcome to the Oak and Lamb YouTube channel. My name is Becca Oaks. I'm an owner and craft educator here at Oak and Lamb. Today, I want to walk you through creating a very simple, and I would even deem it beginner-friendly print and cut project. This cut file that we're going to be using today is available over on the Oak and Lamb website. If you are an Oak and Lamb member, you have access to it right now. If you are not an Oak and Lamb member, click the link below and use the special code that we will be sharing with you for a fun discount on our membership. Membership here at Oak and Lamb includes access to our entire library of cut files with free commercial use license, meaning if you make this project and want to sell it, you can legally do that. It also gives you access to our private Facebook group where all of our crafty friends, the flock, meet together and help each other with troubleshooting different craft projects, give insight on products that they like and machines, materials that they like, and so much more. You also get access to our member-only content, our member-only courses, and so much more. So click that link, join today, and become a part of the flock. So today's project is a print and cut calendar. And if you aren't familiar with print and cut, that might be a little bit confusing to you. Print and cut is actually my favorite thing that I can do with my Cricut. There are so many different things you can do with Cricut, but print and cut, like I mentioned, is my favorite. What is print and cut? Very widely, it means that you print out something on a product, whether it is cardstock, whether it is printable sticker paper, whether it is a printable fabric, whatever. You print it out using your inkjet printer, and then you're going to place it on a mat and cut it out with your Cricut. So print and cut can be done with Cricut Explore Series machines, can be done with the Maker Series machines, it can be done with Joy Extra or the Venture. The only Cricut machine that is currently being sold that it does not work with is just the plain Cricut Joy. However, we do have a hack for that, so click this link if you have a Cricut Joy and are interested in learning how to hack the system and do print and cut with it. Like I mentioned, we're making a calendar today, so I'm going to just be using a cardstock to print and cut with. The cardstock that we like is actually not this one. This is a good cardstock, but this is not the one that I'm going to be linking for you. This is a 110-pound cardstock, and the one I'm going to be linking for you is 120-pound. It's my preference, but I don't have it here at home. It's at the studio. It's just a little bit thicker, almost like a craft board. And because I'm going to be using a super thick cardstock, I need to make sure that my printer has a rear loading tray like this one. This is just a Canon Pixma printer. It's a under $200 printer. It's a very solid workhorse of a printer. We really like it, and we have had several different Canon Pixmas. This is the 8320. We've had the 7000 series, the 8000 series, and so many other ones. We'll link a comparable printer for you as well. But like I said, cardstock, probably probably two sheets is what we'll need, but we'll look in just a second once we get over into Design Space. And then I am also going to be using some hot glue, which I'll get in just a second. And I'm going to be using some bull clips. Bull clips, if you are not familiar. These clips right here, this is about a 2.5-inch bull clip. You can use smaller if you wanted to, but I just wanted to make sure that it will hold all of the things that we need today. And then I'm also going to be using some mini clipboards. This is a pack of 4 mini clipboards that I got from Amazon. We'll link it for you as well. They're a little bit thinner than what I would want if I were actually going to be using these as a clipboard, but I am just going to be using this as basically a wall hanging type calendar, and so it doesn't have to be super thick. I love the color of this one. This is the one I'm going to be using. It did come with a blue, a pink, and a black. Again, we'll be linking that for you. But this is a 6x9-inch mini clipboard, like I mentioned, and the cut file that I created with this specific size and these specific sizes in mind. However, if you're not using this size, or if you're using a different blank, then you can adjust the file to be the size that you need, and I'll show you a little bit about that in just a second. So other than the clipboard, the bull clip, and some cardstock, that's all we need for this project. Let's jump over into Design Space, take a look at the files, and we'll get this project started. So here's the cut file that we will be using. Go ahead, if you are a member, and press download. If you're not a member, like I mentioned, you can easily become one today. You can pay monthly or annually and jump in immediately to creating with the cut files here on the website. I've gone ahead and imported it here into Design Space, and this file is available as a PNG or an SVG. The benefit of having an SVG over just a PNG is that you can edit this even more than you could just if it were a PNG. Now, when you import the SVG, it all comes together grouped. So you're going to want to ungroup it. And the reason that I like SVG over just PNG, like I mentioned, is that if I wanted to change the colors of this, if I don't like this color palette for some reason, I can absolutely just come in here and manually change every single color. If I wanted them to all be like this, if I wanted them to all be like this, if I wanted them to be black and white or red, white, and blue, or whatever color palette you choose, you can absolutely just take these and change them. Now, once you change them, or if you want to just keep them like this, then you do have to flatten an SVG in order to make it a print then cut project. If you had imported the PNG, let's go ahead and import the PNG. So if I imported the PNG, it looks like this, and you can see over here in the layers panel, it already says print and cut. It is ready to go ahead and click make it. If that is the size that you wanted it, you don't have to do anything. However, you can see over here, this one still has like kind of black outlines around everything to let you know that they are separate layers. So let's go ahead and delete this because we're not going to be using it. And then all we need to do is flatten this because this is already the size that I want it to be. Let me show you really quickly. When I created this file, I did so in Illustrator. I create all my files in Illustrator, and if you are interested in learning how to create cut files yourself, we have an Illustrator course here at Oak and Lamb that teaches you everything you need to know from start to finish how to create cut files. It is a kind of Illustrator cut files for dummy type course, in that you literally don't have to have any prior knowledge of Illustrator to become a successful graphic designer in Illustrator. I do all the work for you. But here in Illustrator, I've just pulled in a clipboard image, pulled in the clips, the bull clips that I'm using, sized everything to how I wanted it. So this is actually 6x9, just like the clipboard actually is. And then when I designed the file, I did so by pulling these blanks over and sizing them how I wanted them, and then also putting the letters for, the different months and the numbers for the days, just like that. So once you pull it into Design Space, it is already sized exactly how I sized it, how I created the file. So it is ready to go. Now you could do two things. One, you could go ahead and select everything and press flatten, and then go ahead and press make it. Now, if I do that, I'm going to have a blank, a piece of cardstock, whatever I'm using to do this print and cut, that is big enough to fit 19.6 by 18.6. So I would have to use like a Cricut Venture or something like that in order to accommodate that. So I can't do it all together like that using my maker. However, I could take these and separate them by like this, maybe, 8 of the months, and then some of the letters, numbers, however I want to do that. But the easiest way is going to be this. It's going to be just to select each individual rectangle with the month and flatten them individually. It takes just a little bit of time to do that. But when we do that, it allows us to just click make it, and it will sort everything on the different mats, different papers, exactly how it is best and it fits the best. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Okay, now that I've fixed all of that, you can look over here in the layers panel and see that everything, it says flatten and print and cut. I do want to point out here, we have multiple 0s, 1s, 2s, and 3s. Now, when you are using your calendar, you wouldn't necessarily need 2 3s. You could use because you're not going to have like the 33rd day of anything. But for me, and it will make sense once I print it all and show you, I wanted to be able to have one number in each column, so that this one, while it won't be used together, would be like at the back of my or the front of my stack of numbers in that particular column. Again, that will make sense hopefully when I show you when it's all finished. So now that each of these are individually flattened, I can go ahead and click Make It. It's going to ask me if I want to save my project. I do, because I've done a little bit of work, with flattening and all of that. So if something happens and Design Space freezes up and I have to relaunch it or something, then I can easily just go back in and fix that. Now it has automatically selected my material size as 11 by 17, and I won't be using 11 by 17. I'll be using 8.5 by 11, so I need to just change that. When I do that, it wants to have several different pages here. So we're gonna have to do quite a bit of printing, which is fine. We'll speed it all up in post for you all, so you don't have to endure all of that, but we'll be printing this out, cutting it. You could hand cut these since they're rectangles, but they do have the curved edges, so personally I don't want to do that. The other thing that I'm looking at is we might be able to consolidate a couple of these pages and put a couple of numbers like at the bottom here. Design Space doesn't always do the absolute best at that, so let's go ahead and move a couple of numbers here, and what we're going to do is just rotate like this. I bet we can eliminate at least one sheet by doing this. Okay, so we went from 4 numbers on this sheet and this sheet to 6, which eliminates one page. I don't think that I can consolidate any of these anymore, so I'm just going to leave them as is so that I don't have any issues with print and cut. So like I said, we will be just speeding this up, but the process for each page is going to be the same. What we will do is go ahead and press continue, and it connects to our machine. We're going to press send to printer. When we press send to printer, we select the printer that we're going to be using. We turn the add bleed option on. The reason we do that is that if our Cricut machine happens to not be calibrated really perfectly, then it adds a little bit of extra ink all the way around the image. And so if the cut is a little bit off, then you don't see white around it. You still have some extra color. We also want to select use system dialog box so that we can change our printer settings. We're going to press print. And then underneath Design Space, a print dialog box will pop up. You can see here that we have media and quality, and we want to select feed from rear tray, and that will ensure that those larger cardstocks or the thicker cardstocks that we're going to be using will go really well through our printer. And then we want to increase our print quality to best. Now we can go ahead and press print. And we will not have to do that for the rest of the mats or pages that will be printed out. It saves that, so we don't have to continue to do the increased print quality and feed from rear. So let's go ahead and press print, and we'll get these printed out. Okay, back over in Design Space, once we have connected to our machine and printed our first sheet, then we are going to select the medium or heavy cardstock setting, whichever one you want. If you do medium, then you just need to increase your pressure, but we'll do that heavy cardstock, and then make sure that your fine point blade is loaded in clamp B. We will load our printed page onto a mat. You can use the blue light grit mat or the green standard grit mat. Either one is totally fine with the heavier cardstocks. And I am going to be using a brayer just to bray that cardstock on good so it doesn't move around. Once your cut is complete, go ahead and unload your mat, and you are going to want to flip your mat over and remove your mat like this. Go ahead and remove the excess, but remove your mat from the cardstock so that your cardstock doesn't curl really badly. But this looks really good. This machine has been calibrated recently, and these look really beautiful and honestly perfect. So then reference Design Space, go back to Design Space and print out all of the pages you need printed out, cut them out, and then we will get back together once it's all printed and cut. So here is our clipboard and all of our cute little print and cuts. We'll put them in order in just a second. And then I've gone ahead and plugged in my Lynn Lilly glue gun because I'm going to be using glue, hot glue, to put these bull clips on. Now you could use E6000, you could use UV resin, you could use regular resin, any type of adhesive that would keep these on really well. And I was also thinking if you didn't have a clipboard, you could use like a piece of wood that you've painted, or even just a natural piece of wood, a piece of MDF, piece of acrylic, or anything like that, and actually just use 3 bull clips. So you could put like 1 at the top and 2 right here. That would be really cute. My original thought for this was that I could use this piece to hang it up with, but obviously you could use this part of the bull clip to hang as well. So lots of different options, but I just really liked this color, and I really liked the price for all of them and everything. So let's go ahead and put these in order. Like I said, I'm going to have 2 columns of numbers. So we'll have 0 through 9 over here. We'll go ahead and put them in order. And then 0 through 3 over here, like this. And then we'll put our months in order as well. Now, to go ahead and put the bull clips in the correct area, what I want to do is just stack these together and clip on. Stack these together and clip on. And the reason I want to do that is so that I put them in the correct space. I also want to put these clipped in as well, so that I'm making sure I have plenty of space for everything. And then if you have any hot glue that has seeped out, I don't know if you can see right there or not, but once that's dried, I can just take my True Control knife or an X-Acto knife or something like that and remove it. And the reason that I like to do it when it's dry is that it eliminates all of the like stringy hot glue, and it doesn't go everywhere. So there we go. Look how cute this is. And then obviously you just sort through this and pick the month. Let's see, it's June right now, so we'll go to June like this. Put it right in there. And today is the 11th. So I'll find my 1. Let me pretend that it's a different date because I just don't want the same colors. We'll pretend that it's the 12th. Maybe it is the 12th when you're watching this. Who knows? Look how cute that is. I'm so obsessed. I think it's so stinking cute. And what I like about this is, like I mentioned earlier, you can change it to whatever colors you want. If you get sick of it, you don't have a lot to invest in it, so you don't have to feel like you're obligated to use it every year. But if you wanted to use it every year and you wanted to make it a little bit more sturdy, then you could use laminate to laminate these if you wanted to, or you could have these you could print them on sticker paper and then put them on a piece of MDF or a really thin piece of wood or something like that. It would make this a whole lot thicker, but it would make it sturdier as well. So those are some options. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you are excited to try Print and Cut and that this inspires you to make some really cute projects with Print and Cut. Once again, thank you so much for being here with us today. Again, I hope you did enjoy this project. Make sure you click the links below to find our Amazon storefront where we have all of the products and machinery that we use today. As always, leave a comment below if you have any questions. And if you're not already a subscriber here to the YouTube channel, go ahead and click subscribe. It is a free way to help support us. And if you turn on notifications, then you will be notified every single time we go live and or post content like this. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you here another day for another video.